Gracias por acompañarnos esta mañana. Bendiciones. Dios está con su pueblo. Así que ánimo, iglesia. Ánimo, no desmaye. Una vez más, quiero avisar que con el favor de Dios, allá por Reno, Nevada, les estaré yendo para Reno, Nevada. El 26 estaré con el pastor Minera. Así que, hermanos de Reno, Nevada, esperamos que vele por ahí con el favor de Dios. Ok, yo me retiro. Gracias, bendiciones. Vamos a escuchar ya en unos 3 minutos más el programa de los pastores Cartagena aquí en nuestra cadena Radio Vida. Y a través de la radio local estaremos llevando a cabo programación musical. Siga con nosotros, no desmaye. ¡Ánimo! Amamos al Señor, Él no está a nuestra parte. Hay que corresponderle al Señor, serle fiel hasta la muerte. Hasta la próxima. Bendiciones. Una vez más, si usted desea comunicarse con las secretarias o durante el programa de los pastores Cartagena, si usted desea oración, la pastora está atendiendo las llamadas a las 11:30, unos 3 minutos más, al área 956-968-7777, el número principal de Radio Vida.
Sus fuerzas.
Esto es confiar, seguir caminando.
Los artistas del ambiente cristiano. Al máximo volumen.
Y no podría estar ante ti, escuchándote hablar, sin llorar como un niño.
Radio Pista.
Atraviesa el tráfico de autos con el mejor playlist.
The drive home sounds better.
Que el camino suena mejor con la Celestial 106.5.
No le cambie, porque a continuación comenzará un programa que bendecirá tu vida. Aquí en la Celestial FM 106.5. El siguiente programa es clasificación A. Apto para todo público. Contenido E. Entretenimiento.
Toda palabra o punto doctrinal emitido en el siguiente programa es responsabilidad exclusiva del programador y no de esta radioestación.
Bienvenidos a Café con Hispanos, un programa que conecta nuestra fe, nuestros valores como familia, nuestros negocios y proyectos de ley que afectan a nuestra comunidad hispana aquí en Carolina del Norte. Entrevistamos al gobierno y a líderes de nuestra comunidad para dialogar sobre el trabajo que realizan en beneficio nuestro, actualidad y un sabor a dulce hogar. Somos la voz de nuestra gente hispana. Le damos la bienvenida al pastor Gilbert Pagan. Café con Hispanos comienza.
Sentado en su trono rodeado de luz, a la diestra del Padre gobierna Jesús. Con ojos de fuego, con rostro de sol, cuando abre su boca es trueno su voz. Sentado en su trono rodeado de luz, a la diestra del Padre gobierna Jesús. Con ojos de fuego, con rostro de sol, cuando abre su boca es trueno su voz. Poderoso, en majestad y reino, poderoso. Poderoso, en potestad de imperio, poderoso. Poderoso, en majestad y reino, poderoso. Poderoso, en potestad de imperio, poderoso. Dice la palabra de Dios que cuando tú y yo lleguemos al cielo, se nos van a repartir coronas. La Biblia habla de 7 diferentes tipos de coronas que podemos recibir. Y algunas de esas coronas serán de acuerdo a la obra, al trabajo que hayamos hecho aquí en la tierra. Y vamos a estar muy satisfechos con esas coronas. Pero luego dice la palabra de Dios que cuando estemos delante del gran trono y veamos al Cordero que fue inmolado por nuestros pecados, tomaremos nuestras coronas y las vamos a arrojar delante de Él, reconociendo que Él es el único digno de alabanza. Él es el único digno de reconocimiento. Un gran arco iris corona su ser. Él es el Cordero que pudo vencer. Él es el primero, Él es el postre. Y arrojan coronas delante de Él. Poderoso, en majestad y reino, poderoso. Poderoso, en potestad de imperio, poderoso. Poderoso, en majestad y reino, poderoso. Poderoso, en potestad de imperio, poderoso.
Bienvenido bella audiencia a otro segmento de Café con Hispanos. En este día estamos haciendo un programa especial el viernes, en mediodía. Vamos a tener una conversación con Adele Walker, que está postulándose para alcaldesa de Selma. La señora Walker estaba en nuestro programa más o menos un año anterior, el año pasado, y anunció que se iba a postularse para ser alcaldesa de Selma y se postuló. Se registró para ser el alcalde, y entonces vamos a hablar hoy sobre la campaña. Vamos a hablar un poco sobre a dónde está ella en su campaña, y también de las varias situaciones y necesidades de la ciudad de Selma, a donde ella vive con su esposo y tiene su negocio también ahí en Selma. Adele, gracias por estar aquí otra vez en el estudio con nosotros.
Gracias. Gracias.
Un placer tenerte otra vez. Vamos a hablar un poco, let's talk a little bit about qué está pasando en Selma Pero antes de eso, before that, going into that, let's talk a little bit about what your platform is, right? The Time platform. El empuje o el enfoque de su plataforma es que es tiempo de cambiar, it's time for change, en Selma, porque queremos cambiar. Ella quiere ser la alcaldesa de Selma para sacar el alcalde que está ahí ahora mismo. So talk to us a little bit about Time y su plataforma.
So our platform is Reimagine Time. It's Time for Change, which is about transparency, fixing our infrastructure, management, and execution. Not just talking about doing something, but actually doing it.
So ahí está hablando que su plataforma viene sobre transparencia, infraestructura, manejar la ciudad y también implementar un plan de acción para la ciudad. So talk to us a little bit about what's going on in Selma right now that you'd like to see changed, and what is affecting the people, right, in Selma. So talk a little bit about that.
The number one thing are our infrastructure, our pipes. When it rains, we've got several roads that flood.
Está diciendo que la infraestructura de Selma tiene varias situaciones y también la pipa que son abajo de el cemento en la ciudad se inunde cuando llueve mucho. So when it rains, it's flooding. The city streets are getting flooded, right? Is that right? Okay,
yes.
okay. That's one part of the infrastructure. What else about the infrastructure that you see?
Nothing's been done. We've been given money. We've been told that the state legislation gave us over $20 million, but we don't see anything being done. The roads are being paved over right now, but they're not being, the pipes aren't being fixed. The excuse is always, it's always been that way. And my response is, so it's always been that way, why aren't we doing something to change that?
So parece que la ciudad de Selma ha recibido millones de dólares del Estado para mejorar la ciudad de Selma, pero el alcalde que es presente y el concilio no ha usado ese dinero para mejorar la ciudad de Selma, y siempre dice que esto siempre ha sido así, la calle está un desastre, hay varias cosas que están pasando en Selma, pero y dicen que no lo van a cambiar, no, que esto siempre ha sido así y ella quiere cambiar eso. So you want to obviously change some of the responsiveness, I suppose, to issues in Selma versus going with the same statement that, where this is the way it's always been, and why can't we fix it or never be fixed or what have you, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely, obviously, a way to fix it. It will cost money. It's not something that is not going to cost money, but it definitely can be fixed, and we need to fix that issue. We also need to make sure that we are doing the right thing by all of our residents in town. Another major issue is our trash fines. If you leave the lid up just about an inch open, you will automatically get a $175 fine. It's a $25 fine, but people don't realize that there's a $150 administrative fee that is also given. So that is also something that needs to be gone with. We don't need to be charging people $175 because they leave their lid a little open.
En Selma, en Selma tienen una multa si usted tiene su zafacón más lleno como debería de hecho, que decir, si la puerta de su zafacón está abierto un poco, la ciudad está dando multa a los residentes en su casa de $175 para tener el cobertura abierto, la puerta del zafacón abierto. Es muy alto. I mean, that's a lot of money. $175. You could buy a lot of food with that. Well, sort of. Put gas in your car with that,
Yes.
right? You can do a lot of things with it. Go out to dinner with that. I mean, well, you can't now because you got to pay the fine.
Well, right. Yeah, and we've got a lot of low-income families. We've got a lot of single moms. We have a lot of elderly. So that can be definitely something that they could use for better use, not a fine for
Do we
them.
know where the money goes? I mean, so somebody writes a check, they pay the $175. Where does that money go? I mean, do you know where it goes? I mean, like, what happens to it? Does it go to the sanitation department? Does it go to the mayor's office? Where does it go?
That's a good question. We don't know. We don't really know where all this money seems to be
Oh,
going.
okay.
There's a lot of money and a lot of questions about where a lot of the money is going. We just do not know until I actually get into office and actually sit down and look at the budget and the exact breakdown of everything. I will not know 100%. The fines were brought up, were not even really approved by the town council. Town council was thrown in as a surprise, basically. So it's just really, our town government is supposed to be run by a town council. The town council are the ones that make the decisions.
El concilio en Selma es el cuerpo político que debe hacer las decisiones de Selma. Y tienen el alcalde, que es parte del proceso, pero el concilio hace las decisiones en Selma. Y parece como hay una situación con el concilio, quizás siendo responsable con el dinero y manejando las finanzas y transparencia en Selma. So you're saying the council is responsible for, I guess, governing the city to some extent, and the mayor he's like an ex officio, isn't he?
He's really, what I want to do is bring back the town council government the way it's supposed to be legally. I have a vision. I have a big vision, but my decisions are not made. I don't get to make those decisions. The town council will get to make those decisions, and that's what I'm looking to bring back. Our town council right now, the elected town council members are not actually doing their job. They're not going out and speaking to the community. They don't know what's going on in the community. They're just listening to this current mayor, and whatever he says and does, they just go right along with
So
it.
la postura de Adele, que se está postulándose para alcaldesa de Selma, es que el concilio que está en poder ahora no está exigiendo su autoridad de manejar la ciudad, y que ellos más o menos están haciendo todo que el alcalde que está presente en esa posición y está solamente respondiendo a su llamado y necesidades, y ellos no están manejando la ciudad con la autoridad y poder que ellos deben hacer, y ella quiere cambiar eso para poner más poder y como legalmente en las manos del concilio. So quiere que la junta es como una junta, it's like a board, council, que ellos ejercen su poder como normal. So you really want the local government to operate the way it's supposed to, according to law.
Correct.
Right. And not be, this is my words, a rubber stamp for the current mayor, even though that could possibly be the case, right? But that they operate as a council and make decisions. And the mayor has input, obviously,
Correct.
right? Because the mayor, in theory, provides, vision
Correct.
for the city, right?
Correct, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Any mayor, right?
Yes,
provides,
absolutely.
Right. Okay, so you want that power to go, to be used by the council. They still have it. They have the power. It's just that they haven't used it.
They don't use it.
They don't use it, okay.
They don't use it.
Gotcha.
They're intimidated.
Ah.
And if they're, why do you run for office if you're going to be intimidated? You need to be able to stand up and speak for the people. We're there to serve the people, and I want to serve the people of the town of Selma.
Gotcha. Okay, so the current mayor is in his third term.
Second term.
Second term,
Fourth
okay.
year. It's every 2 years.
So second term, he's in his second term. He wants to get a third term.
Correct.
And you're running obviously to against him to unseat him, so he won't get into a third term. So in Selma, obviously we talked about a little bit about transparency, right? That there should be more, right? Transparency in finances, right?
Yes, absolutely.
In decision-making process.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that we're missing about transparency in Selma and finances, decision-making process, accessibility, right, to people, like to speak to the mayor, speak to council members,
Right.
kind of be available.
Be available,
Which
absolutely.
you said earlier, they're not in the community, they're not going out speaking to people, they're not.
Right.
Right. Okay.
And yes, I can tell you that there's 2 council members right now sitting on the board that my husband attempted to reach out to speak to, and because they were told by the mayor not to speak to us, they haven't bothered speaking to us. So that's not what's supposed to happen. When you're in office, you shouldn't be taking things personal. You're there for a job to do in order to serve the people, not take issues personal.
Yeah, absolutely. And to talk a little bit about we talked about a little bit about transparency already, and a little bit about infrastructure and the fines that homeowners get or renters get for their garbage cans lids being open, the 175. Talk a little bit about the electric bills, and somebody comes into Selma and they go there to live, whether it's an apartment or a house, they have to lay out a lot of money. So talk a little bit about that process and who's responsible for the electric grid in Selma.
So the town of Selma purchases from Duke, and then they sell it to the community.
They
the
resell
residents.
it, basically.
They resell it,
Okay.
correct.
It's like buying something at a store, and you buy it for $10, you turn it around and sell it to somebody for 20.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's the way this service is done. So there was always a deposit required for renters that came into town.
Different
If
from
you had-
homeowners.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
There is for good credit, medium credit, and bad credit. Now, in my experience as a real estate agent, for the most part, renters usually do have bad credit. That's why they're renting.
Okay.
Not all, but
Right.
obviously
Some.
some.
Sure.
So we do have some more affordable rentals in the town of Selma. So when they move to Selma, renters are paying first month, last month's rent. Then they go to turn on their water and electric. When they go to the town of Selma to turn on their water and electric, not only if they have bad credit, if let's say they just graduated from college and they're starting out fresh and don't have credit at all,
Which is considered bad credit
it's
to them,
yes,
right?
to them,
Right.
They have to give a deposit amount of $1,800.
Wow.
Which is astronomical and ridiculous. The electric and water is turned off as soon as the bill is late, so there's no reason anyone would accumulate $1,800 in a bill.
Wow.
But also, we have people that are rented previously in the community of Selma, and I just recently got a couple of emails from some people who moved to a different rental only a couple of blocks away, and because they moved to a new rental and there's the new rules, they had to pay an $1,800 deposit even though they've lived in Selma for many years.
Oh wow, that's tough, particularly for people who are on the low income scale. First of all, but $1,800 for me. Or for you, even though,
couldn't afford it.
right. It's like, I don't want to pay it. I mean, that's just like, $200 deposit, okay, something
Right.
like that's reasonable. I get it, but $1,800 is a little bit out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's apartments, that's trailers as well. People who rent trailers,
Or rent houses.
or rent
There's
houses.
homes that are rented.
Right,
A lot
same
of houses.
concept.
Correct.
Right, so but when somebody has a house and they buy a house in Selma, that does not happen, right?
That does not happen. No,
Okay.
it does not.
Is that because they assume you got good credit because you bought the house?
I would probably think so. I think that they do still leave a deposit,
Right.
but it is a very small deposit. And I'm not 100% accurate on it, but what I have been told by some of my renters is that they've been told the $1,800 is non-refundable.
Oh, wow.
And I'm hoping that is not accurate, but
Yeah.
they have told me that it is non-refundable,
I don't
which
know
is
how that-
really just
Yeah, that's
really
something-
even horrible.
Something you got to look into. I don't know how legal that is.
Yes.
It may be. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's so that's part of the infrastructure kind of conversation about looking at the fines for trash, looking at deposits for renters, and whether it's in a house or it's an apartment or it's a trailer, that that kind of looking at that, why it's so high and how can we fix it, right? Or you can fix it to make it better for people that are just trying to get by and live and pay their bills and put food on the table, gas in their car, and go to work, pay their insurance, all these kind of daily things, right?
Yes,
right. So no, now part of your platform, we talked about transparency, infrastructure management, how you manage the city and with the council, and if they take more power and authority that they should, and that the office should be open to people to come in and talk to the officials and deal with issues. Talk a little bit about, I guess, your plan, I guess on day one when you step into the office, right? Now you're behind the desk, you're there, right? What happens on day one? I mean, what do you do? Apart from making yourself available and all that, but you got to get to work. So what are you looking at? What is driving you the first day when you get?
I'm absolutely excited about getting to work and making sure that I get things done. I'm not all about talk, but getting things done. First of all, we need to hire employees. We need to get employees that work. We need to make sure that our employees that are there stay here, that they're shown respect. They don't feel like they're walking around on eggshells, and that they can do the job that they were hired to do. We may have a couple of problems with a few people.
Well, with any workforce, you have different employees.
But we've lost over 80 employees in the last 4 years.
Really?
80 employees. We need to show. I want to show proper leadership. I want to show that I'm there to not only serve the town and the residents, but I'm also there to serve the employees and help them, and willing to do what I need to do in order to get the job done.
Wow. Yeah. So you got to hire staff.
Hire staff, number
and
one.
obviously, and try to reduce turnover, right? Which is what you're saying. We've lost, and I say we, the town of Selma lost 80 employees over the last couple of years, about 20 employees a year. It's kind of like what the number is, give or take.
Correct.
Give or take. So we want to limit that from happening, and obviously provide leadership to the staff and the like. So that's good. I know that from what I understand of Selma, there's a concern about crime, is what I've heard, and the reports that I've read. It's not really bad, but it's there. Okay, it's palpable, and there's some homelessness issues in Selma. Can you talk a little bit about crime and a little bit about your background? You were a police officer in the past. You can talk a little bit about that and your thoughts on trying to. I don't know if there's vacancies in the police department. I have no idea. So talk a little bit about those things.
I've got a lot of plans for our police department that I want to do. One of the misconceptions that I believe our current administration was passing around was that I was going to dismantle the police department. I was getting rid of our police department. Let me say right here, right now, I am not getting rid of the police department. I am pro-police. I am an ex-police officer. I was a police officer in Florida. And I absolutely want them to do their job. I'm not really afraid of the crime in Selma. I feel very safe. I walk around at night in the evening. People will see me walking around all hours of the night. But yes, we do have crime. Just like everywhere else in Johnson County, there is nowhere that does not have any crime. We have some issues with, we have drugs, where drugs are everywhere.
Sure.
So I'm
gonna peel the onion back a little bit. So you got two sides of town.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Well, actually, there's four sides.
Four.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you can explain that. And I've heard one side of the road tracks, the other side of the railroad tracks.
Correct.
I don't know what that means. But like, so you got the nice side of town and you got the not so nice side of town. So explain a little bit about that, and where is the crime and the drugs happening? Okay, and just be transparent about that.
Well, there's the north side, the south side of the tracks. Then we've got also the west side and the east side.
Okay.
We have a little bit of everything. We have our train station. Actually, all our trains go north, south, east, and west. So we have the tracks all the way. There is, a lot of talk that what happens on the south side of the tracks and the north side is definitely different.
So the south side is in theory the
south
the worst area. My words.
Right.
More crime. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it depends because I've also seen it in the on the
north side.
The north side.
No, there's crime
as well.
everywhere, but
so there's crime everywhere. I think our police officers probably tend to stay to certain areas specifically
where the crime is.
where but we've got it all over. I really have nothing really bad to say about our police department. They have been feeling the pressure of the administration as well. So things have been hard for them, as well as other people, other employees, because of the current administration. So I'm not going to say we do have to fix some things. We have to fix. There are things that happen in town that the current administration says don't talk about it, don't say it. We need to talk about it. We need to say we do need to share where we do have the crime and where we don't have the crime. But a lot of it is swept under the rug. And we don't need to do that. I think we need to be honest, and if you're honest, then we can actually change things and get things better. Our police officers don't have shields in their police car. They've never had any type of shields. When they arrest a felon, they put him in the front seat of the car. That is ridiculous.
It's dangerous.
Totally dangerous. Very unsafe. We're supposed to have the best police department, but we're not protecting our police officers properly. So we definitely need to do that. Homelessness. We do have a lot of homeless in our town.
Where are they?
They are all over.
Okay.
They're sitting in vacant houses. Sometimes I walk by, I see them in certain houses.
These are abandoned houses?
They're abandoned, or someone rents it and is allowing them a lot to stay there.
Okay.
They're staying. Unfortunately, very sadly, this Saturday, one of our homeless men was killed by the train this weekend.
I saw the report.
In Selma. He was one of our homeless men. It's a horrible situation. But we really don't have to have a major homeless problem. If we allowed, there's an organization called Street Reach of Johnston County, and Street Reach actually wants to help our homeless. The current administration wouldn't let them help in Selma. And because they won't let them help in Selma, then we still got the homeless. When I see our homeless, I actually talk to them as human beings, because they are human beings, and I will reach out to Street Reach. And Street Reach actually has come out several times immediately as soon as I called to come and see how they can help and guide them.
Right, you kind of guide them to a particular person that's on the street. You make a phone call.
Right.
They'll show up and talk to that person.
Right.
Try to give them resources, that kind of thing. Okay.
And if we help them with the resources, they wouldn't be out on the streets asking for money. I don't want them on the streets asking for money. I don't want them asking my customers. I have a business in downtown Selma. We don't want them out there and bothering our customers that are coming in.
Sure.
But it's not about treating them like garbage, and that's another thing. There's a lot of people that don't feel that I'm doing the right thing with the homeless. They think I need to just say how bad they are. I'm not. They're human beings like me, and by God's grace, it could be me one day on the street.
Yeah, we when it comes to homelessness and crime, obviously, this is my opinion. We need to look at what are the factors that are creating those situations, right? What is creating the crime? Who's doing it? Where is it? That's why I asked the question, where is it? North side, south side. It's probably mostly more on the south side. There's some that happens in the north. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, right? Or in some of the east and the west. But if you look at the map and you say, okay, where is it happening? Well, it's mostly over here, and that's where the police resources are, right? Which makes sense. It's not a focus on a particular person or group of people. Right. It's more like, where is the problem? And you look at, okay, so why is it happening, right? Correct. homelessness. The homelessness, let's say, it's on north side, west side, east side. Why is it happening? You know, where are these people coming from? Are they Selma residents? Did they lose their apartment? Was it a drug issue? Did they lose their apartment because they couldn't pay the $1,800 for the electric? You know, right? Or the $175 fee for the garbage cans? You know, what is? And this is the transparency issue, which which you're running on. What are the issues that are affecting our town? Where's the data guide us? How is it? What started this? You know, how can we fix it? But you can't fix it unless you say, okay, this is where the problem is. It's right here.
Correct.
Now, how do we fix this together versus, we don't want to have a conversation. We want to sweep it under the rug, you know.
And that's what's being done a lot.
And it never gets fixed.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Right.
So everyone sees, everything is wonderful and rose petals and beautiful. That's what they see, but they don't actually see what's going on in the underneath. And we need to fix that.
Yeah.
We need to be honest. And that's the one thing that people, when I decided to run, people said, who were busy in the coffee shop complaining about running.
Coffee on Rayford.
Yeah, complaining about the current administration. And then when I stood up and I said, you know what, I'm going to run against him and we're going to fix this. Oh, no, do not do that because you're going to bring a bad name to Selma. No, it's not about bringing a bad name to Selma. I want to make Selma great again.
Fix Selma. I want to fix Selma.
Yes.
Make it better.
By being honest
time
and
for change.
transparent.
It's time for
Absolutely.
change. Yeah, and make it better. Make it a better city within Johnson County and the like, and make it a destination for people who want to move there, start businesses there, grow there, have their families there, right?
And lead with compassion.
Exactly. Yeah, and respond to people's needs and be transparent and open and the like. So, I mean, clearly there's like any town, Selma has its issues. Any town in North Carolina has their own issues. And what's good about Selma, in my opinion, is that it's not a really large town. It's growing. It is, and there's room for growth. And you can talk a little bit about the growth in a second and how to fix that and make it more balanced, okay, for everybody. But it's a great place. And what's good about it is that it's small enough where changes that administrations can make make a huge impact. Because it's not like a city that has 300,000 people in it. It has a couple of 7,000 people in it. You can the council and the mayor can make some shifts where the people can actually see. It's like, wow, this is better. Correct. Right. So talk a little bit about the growth in Selma and what they're building out there and what they may be overlooking. Talk a little bit about that.
I can tell you, number one, they're overlooking our downtown area. Our downtown.
That's where your
Selma.
business is?
My business.
Okay.
We have lost 5 businesses in the last couple of months in downtown
in the area
Selma.
where your business is.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha. Do you know why they left, or you just know they left?
Yeah, it's no traffic. No traffic.
You got to drive traffic downtown. You got to drive traffic.
We were getting more traffic, but we have gotten big businesses that have moved 5 minutes up the block.
Right.
We've got all the big box stores, and our current administration, that's all he likes to mention, the names of those big box stores. So I won't say the names of those big box stores here.
I gotcha.
Because he mentions it all the time. And that's where he only cares about. I am not against big business. Okay? Big business is great. I love it. Sure. I sometimes have to go and get some things from over there, and it's awesome being right down the block. Actually, I can walk there. I walked there this week down to those stores.
Okay.
But we cannot forget our businesses downtown Selma. We can't let it become a ghost town again. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to become a ghost town. We lost one of our breweries. We lost 2 restaurants. We are losing another antique store on the 25th. It's closing. I mean,
I like antiques and vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so we need to do something about that. We need to bring back business to downtown Selma. Also, there's a lot of concerns about the big business that wasn't done properly. And one of the things is that we need to get to the bottom of it. We're building houses over there now, but do we have a proper sewer system there?
right,
No.
to deal with the houses, which is,
Correct.
and that's part of the infrastructure issue.
And that is an infrastructure issue. We need to be building the sewer systems first before we build restaurants, before we build houses. So those are big concerns for me. Once we've built those sewer systems, then I'm all for, continue building. But we need to remember that people move to Selma because they do love the country living. I moved to Selma because of country living. I know there's growth everywhere, but we need to stay a little bit country, and we need to save our farms out in our town.
Yeah, so when it comes to growth, then what you're saying is that we need to look at our sewers, our pipes, our grid to handle the growth, and also when it deals with growth, we have to also focus on downtown Selma, small businesses, not only on the big box stores, which is okay. Big box is fine. They take up a lot of land, and they also pay taxes, which is good for the town of Selma when the money's managed right and all that kind of stuff by the council and the budget and all that kind of stuff. That's good stuff. And for people, you have to understand that 90% of the jobs in this country are small businesses. I mean, we drive this economy, and it's not the big box stores. It's the 90% of the small businesses that people are working there, earning their livelihoods, and that's how they're paying their bills, their rent, their mortgage. So we need to make sure that downtown Selma has a vibrant business district. Restaurants, bars, things like that. People can go down and spend money, right?
Correct.
And obviously those businesses pay taxes into Selma, which brings more money for the budget, right? And
absolutely.
right, and allows it to grow, right?
Correct.
So that's a worthwhile goal, and focus on the growth of Selma. So that said, talking about transparency, infrastructure, management, execution, and I know that the election's coming up. Early voting starts coming up next week, right?
6 days, yes.
Right, so
next
first day of
Thursday.
early voting is when?
October 16th.
October 16th, from what to what?
8 to 5 p.m. It is at the election office on 2nd Street in Smithfield.
So somebody in Selma has to go to Smithfield.
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
to vote,
So
okay.
for early voting, it will be done from October 16th to November 1st. And then if you want to wait till Election Day, November 4th, it will be at the Harrison Center, which is on Noble Street in Selma. But we are asking everyone to please come out and do early voting if possible.
So there's one location in Selma for the voting on Election Day.
Correct,
Okay,
yes,
so okay.
this year.
Gotcha, this year, okay. And then again, maybe next year there's like different precincts, I guess, right?
We have 2 typically,
okay.
but for the municipal race, they've only done one.
One, right, I got you. Okay, that and then trying to control cost and all that kind of stuff with the election. So it's important that people get out to vote, and we tell people all the time that you need to exercise your right. If you can vote, get out there and make your voice heard. Vote for the candidate that you believe in, supports your the plan that you want for the city, supports your values. All these things that kind of drive you to either click the lever, fill in that little hole, on the form, put it into the machine because this person, let's say it's Adele Walker, supports my views, my values for the city and the like. So we want people to get out and vote. It's important, and that these elections, municipal elections, are low turnout elections. That you need to understand, everyone who's listening here, that the election can be determined by a couple of hundred votes. 5 votes, 10 votes can actually determine who wins this election.
Correct.
So share a little bit about the importance of people getting out to vote for you, right? And making their voices heard.
It is so important to vote. I mean, you are looking at every single vote counts. There was only 294 people who came out to vote last 2
2 years ago.
Correct. So we need your vote. every single vote. Your vote does matter. And municipal races are so much more important. People do not realize it has to do with your town. This is where you live. This is where you're raising your family. So it's important that you know what's going on in your town, and because you're the only one that can make the changes in your town. You can't sit back and complain. Sitting back and complaining is not going to do anyone any good. You need to get out there, and that is why I decided to get out and run, because I'm not going to make any changes complaining.
Exactly. No, it's very important for everyone to get out to vote, and like early voting starts next week. And obviously you can get to the voting site on election day, but we're asking people to get out, vote early, get your vote in between now and election day. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Is that the time at the Smithfield location? And then it moves to Selma on November 4th.
On November 4th.
And that's going to be is that also 8 to 5? Or is it like 8 to 7 and it goes longer?
That one will probably be longer.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% of the hour. It may be 8 to 7 on election day.
Yeah, because get people come from work and they can go vote. Come work, exactly. So go to AdeleWalker.com or .org.
AdeleWalker.org.
AdeleWalker.org is the website, AdeleWalker.org, and read up on her and her platform and the like. And go on Facebook. You can see.
There also is a Facebook mayor page, Adele Walker for Selma Mayor on Facebook as well. And I'm all about transparency, accountability. You're more than welcome to give me a call and personally call me, and I will speak to you. You can email me, whatever.
How we get a hold of you? Yeah.
Yep, you can get a hold of me at my phone number is 919-763-6771, or you can come to my office, 109 South Rayford Street in Selma.
Yep. And her office is in her business in downtown Selma, so you're able to walk into the store where she's actually working and running a business, and she'll be available when she wins the election. She'll still have her business, so you'll be able to walk in to see the mayor while she's still running her business, maybe serving a customer, but you'll be able to talk to you and share concerns with you when you're the mayor. It's important to get out and vote. If you want to change in Selma, and you want someone who's going to espouse your values or a platform that you believe in, then you have a choice to vote for Adele. Well, thanks for coming to the studio and sharing with the people, and we wish you the best in this election. We're down to the home stretch, and we'll know in a couple of weeks that you will be mayor. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Bendiciones a todos. Gracias por sintonizar este segmento de Hispano del Sur. Lo veremos el próximo jueves. Bendiciones. Dice Adele Walker otra vez. Yeah, he did change it on the other one. That was that was live.
Oh, okay.
So on the video and everything, that was changed. But he didn't change it here. We're not being recorded right now. ¿Lo ve?
Este es el bueno.
¿Cuál? No lo veo. Está incorrecto. Oh, okay. Okay, there it is. It was changed.
Oh, okay.
It's just that on the video it'll show all that. So and while we were recording, it showed the right one. So we're good. So yeah. So let me see.
Miro arriba, no te encuentro y por eso me lamento. Ay, ay, ay.
México está cada vez más comprometida contigo. Escucha cada jueves Café con Hispanos con el pastor Gilbert Pagan. A las 4 de la tarde, disfruta de un contenido de actualidad y relación directa con nuestra comunidad, un programa de fe, valores familiares, negocios, gobierno y más. Recuerda que cada jueves tienes una cita con la Celestial a las 4 de la tarde. Café con Hispanos con el pastor Gilbert Pagan.
Hispanos del Sur, la voz de los hispanos en Carolina del Norte, quiere asegurarle que esté al tanto de los programas que le beneficiarán a usted y a su familia. Servimos a familias y a empresas en 4 áreas. 1. Creación, financiamiento y crecimiento de pequeñas empresas. 2. Becas para enviar a sus hijos a escuelas privadas y religiosas. 3. Programas de salud y bienestar para mejorar su salud y obtener seguro médico. 4. Educación cívica, políticas públicas y cómo las leyes y regulaciones afectan su vida diaria. Nos aseguramos de que nuestras voces se escuchen en todos los niveles de gobierno. ¿Necesita hablar con nosotros o colaborar con nosotros? Contáctenos al 919-931-4597 o por correo electrónico connect@hispanosdelsur.com o envíe un mensaje en redes sociales. Hispanos del Sur, la voz de la comunidad hispana.
Gracias por sintonizar Café con Hispanos, la voz de nuestra gente hispana en Carolina del Norte. Si desea contactar a nuestro conductor Gilbert Pagan, llame hoy al 919-931-4597. 919-931-4597. Síganos en nuestras redes sociales como Hispanos del Sur. Puede enviarnos un correo electrónico a connect@hispanosdelsur.com. Hasta pronto.